My name is Johnny Rafael Blanco. I'm the owner of Sunset Barbershop here in Chino and Temecula. I'm a barber there, and I'm 36 years old. I immigrated to the country when I was 2 years old. My grandma brought me, my sister, my mom. Grew up in Los Angeles. My dad was out of the picture by the time I was like maybe 3. Then my mom just got with another man and we just went from there. I remember moving a lot. Ended up in Reno for like about 2 years. My mom had my baby sister. Then one day just asked us, do you guys want to stay with your grandma or do you want to come with me? And I'm a grandma's boy. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a grandma's boy, and I said, nope, I'm staying with grandma. My grandma left 6 kids behind. She didn't see me, my cousin Harvey, or my little sister be born. So her first 3 grandchilds, she didn't see them. She didn't get to carry us as young kids. But she left, came here with no one, no money in her pocket. Got lucky with the couple in South Central LA, and she hustled, and that motivated me to become someone, because without her, honestly, I wouldn't have the lifestyle I have and I wouldn't be who I am. And out here, one thing that I noticed is that there wasn't many people in the same position I was in. Like, if I wanted something, I worked for it. If I needed something, I just couldn't go and ask someone like, hey, can you spot me? Like, no, like they'd be like, no, you're gonna work, you're gonna wash my car, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. And that developed the hustler in me growing up. So it was definitely different, because in LA, I mean, you see people hustling all day. You come up with the ideas. I'm like, I'm gonna be a paletero, man. I'm gonna be the corn guy that all the kids run to. I'm gonna be the guy that sells gum, something, you know. Out here, it's a whole different thing. It's a whole different vibe, honestly. It's very different. As I started working here, I did a lot of warehouse work. And I realized that it didn't matter how hard I worked at the warehouse. I was just another guy, just pulling orders, you know. And then I ventured into becoming a taco man a little bit after my daughter was born. I ventured into being a taco man, and that put me in a better position to becoming my own boss. I saw that I had a love for this, you know. Then, you know, me and my baby mama broke up about 6 years ago, actually, to the day. We broke up, and I had to start all over again. Basically, in my car, I was taken out by the sheriffs, and I started all over again. I got into car sales. The money was good in the beginning, but then I started noticing that, you know, the company started worrying more about their pocket and keeping their employees happy. The stress level was very high. I fainted one morning, hit myself on the head. I had a big old lump. Got checked out by the doctors, and the doctor said, like, you're only 32 years old, and your life is of a 70-year-old man. Your stress is way up. Your blood pressure's up, you're pre-diabetic, you gotta really think about this. So I remember that I made that decision July of 2018. I told myself, this is the last month that I'm gonna give car sales a chance. If this doesn't work, I gotta get into something else. And yeah, that's exactly what happened. I mean, what was the point of working for someone that didn't value my work? I got tired of it, and I didn't want to stress about it anymore, and I got myself into barber school. Evina Araceli Blanco was born November 11th, 2014. So it's Veterans Day, basically. She was born at 8:24 in the morning, and my life changed completely. The moment I grabbed her, I saw her, it was just life-changing. Like, this is part of me now. This is a little me. And, you know, even though me and her mom didn't get along eventually, and we went our own ways, you know, she is my biggest motivation. Because I remember when I met my dad, I was told that my dad was this person completely different to who I know now. And me and my dad have built a relationship for 13 years now. He's always been there for me when I've needed him for advice or just to have a joke. We joke around a lot, and Evina is my motivation. She is the reason why I'm doing this, because the day I am reunited with her, whether she's 10 or she's 20, I want her to see that her dad isn't what she thinks it is. I want her to show her that her dad was able to do something with his life. So that's when I made the decision. I went to Roston's barber school, and here in Ontario, signed up, paid up front, and I got into school October 4th of 2018. And during that, I ended up working at a salon as well on the weekends. And the salon, you weren't making much, but I'm like, it's something to sustain me, gas, whatever. But DoorDash was the big factor for me, because I was doing that I did it for a good 6 months until I got into an actual barbershop. When I was in that barbershop, I finished school. My state board date was October 17th. But September 24th, I remember I was driving home, and it was a horrible day at the barbershop. Like, it was bad to the point where I wanted to give up. And my friend Amir called me, and he has Sunset Temecula, was his actually. And he told me, he said, hey, I want you to manage that shop for me. The manager that I have there is not cutting it. I said, say less, I'll help you. So I got my state board date. I passed the practical, because back then there was 2 parts to it. So I passed one part, and I had told my friend Amir, like, all right, November 13th, I'm gonna get the license, bro. I know I am. But November 4th, I got the call that he had passed away. And just like everyone else, we couldn't believe it. This guy was full of life. He was happy. He was always eating healthy, honestly, always eating oranges. That was his thing, oranges. And when I got that call, honestly, like it felt like something just got pulled from me. And it sucked, So obviously I called a few people, like, hey, like, is it true? They're like, yes, it's true. And I remembered his wife. All I remembered, orange hair, orange red hair. That's all I remember. Seen her once. And I went to his service, and I'm like, okay, I need to ask his wife what's going to happen with the barbershop, because obviously that was his baby, to say. He was Muslim. So when I get to the mosque, I see all the ladies covered up. I'm like, okay, this got harder. But I'm like, he had 2 daughters, so I have to look for a lady with 2 young girls, mourning. And sure enough, I found her. Now, it was hard for me alone to be there, but I went up to her and I'm like, are you Amir's wife? She's like, yes. Gave her a hug, gave her my condolences. I'm like, my name's Johnny. I don't know if he talked to you about me, but we had plans with the shop. She's like, yes, before you leave, get my phone number, okay? I said, all right. So we go throughout the service, he gets laid to rest. And I go up to her, I get her number. And she said, call me once you get your license. November 13th, I go, I get my license. She's one of the first people that I call. And bam, it was January 2nd of 2020 when I went to Temecula to take over, just for COVID to hit a few months later, So I took over Temecula, COVID hits. We closed maybe for like 2 weeks, but then we didn't get the help that everyone else got, like the PPP loans and all of that, unemployment. The barbers didn't get any help, neither did the business. So we were stuck in a really bad position, whether we stop working and Bridget loses the shop because obviously the landlord wanted his money, or we continue and we risk everything. Well, we risked everything, and honestly it paid off. We were so busy. I kid you not, as a brand new barber, not really knowing what I was doing, I tackled on the mission to say, and about 20 to 25 heads a day. People were coming from everywhere to get a haircut because we were one of the only barbershops open. So September of 2020, Bridget calls me and tells me, hey, let's open another shop. At first, I thought she was joking, but I'm like, are you serious? She's like, yeah. I said, okay, I'll start looking for some locations. So we started looking around, and we liked the Chino location because it's in the shopping center. It used to be a barbershop. So it was even easier because people knew there was a barbershop there. So I got bought out September 2020. Then we put in three weeks of hard work. I was there painting. I cleaned it out. I took everything out. The floor was installed. The walls were painted. The stations were built. The chairs were put in. And bam, October 28th of 2020, Chino opens. A week before election week. So that was scary too, because then I saw Superior board up, I saw Metro board up, I saw Cricket board up, I saw the bank board up. I'm like, all right, this is gonna be interesting. But and the governor had said to shut down again. We didn't listen. I said, nope, we're not gonna do this. And thankfully nothing bad happened. People started walking in. Obviously the first month was hard. It was very hard. But then I got some help, and it slowly started picking up. Honestly, if it wasn't for Amir believing in me and his wife, Bridget, honestly, just trusting her husband and trusting me that much, I mean, I wouldn't be here without them, to be honest with you. In the shop, we have Kobe posters, a lot of them. A customer pretty much gave them to us. So we put them up. When Kobe passed away, you know, obviously it was a day that like it messed everyone up. Even if you didn't like the guy, if you did or not, boom. But it hit everyone, right? So obviously Kobe, his Mamba mentality of not giving up, it really did stick with a lot of people. And before, even with me, I've always been that person it's hard for me to give up. It's very hard to me to say like, here, I'm done. It's more of like, no, I'm gonna squeeze as much as I can and try my hardest until you make me give up. But it's not gonna come from me. I remember this interview that I think he said, and the story goes that Vanessa asked him, you're hurt, why don't you take a night off? And he told his wife, I can't. Someone in that stadium has saved up money to go see me play. Who knows how long that person has saved this money up to come and see me. And for me to sit down and not give him that, it's not in me. So that stuck with me. Like, you know, if he was able to do that after he messed up his ankle and his knees, and towards the end of his career, he still didn't sit on that bench. He always started. It's like, why am I gonna give up? You know, why am I gonna be like that? I'm not, you know, and it goes back to my grandma too. My grandma was a humongous Kobe fan. I mean, she cried the day he went. She cried. I had to check up on her, like, you all right, grandma? Like, I know you're hurting. She's like, yeah, it's just, you know, Kobe. And I'm like, it's fine, she'll be all right. And I gave her a Kobe a jersey. I got her the number 8 when he first started. And it was amazing seeing her happy, you know. And I obviously got the 24. So to me, Kobe meant a lot to the shop. Everyone loves it, you know, because they're like, it's Kobe, it's the Lakers. But I think it's more about who he was as a person, how he motivated his teammates, just like I motivate my barbers. I learned a lot from him, like not letting his people give up that easily. So that meant a lot to me. I grew up without a mom. I grew up without a dad. I grew up in Los Angeles. Everyone knows in LA there's a lot of gangs. I could have easily ended up there, and I didn't. It's always easier to do bad than it is to do good. But at the end of the day, doing something good for yourself pays off, and I've seen that. You know, I've had to walk hours to get home sometimes. I had to take the bus to get back and forth to work, you know, and growing up, not having a mom and dad really to have there, it was kind of hard, you know. I didn't graduate on time for that reason, because I didn't want to see everyone else with their parents, and I decided to just graduate on my terms, you know. If I was able to stay out of out of bad habits and overcome everything that I have. I mean, anyone can do it, and it's never too late. I started barbering when I was 32 years old, and I'm 36 now. 4 years later, I would have never thought that I'd be in this position with 2 barbershops, trying to help other people out. And you know, it feels good to know that you're doing something right, or at least you're trying. And you know, you just got to keep your head up and keep walking. You're gonna get hit many times with negativity and that you can't, but it's not how many times you get hit, it's how many times you get up and how you do it. That's my motto.